theme for this week is when your habits match your dreams. So, if your habits don't match your dreams, then you're in misalignment. That's a very important thing in terms of understanding the alignment and the misalignment of something. When I look at my own life and I've always been a busy person. I've always had a lot of things on my agenda, and I've always wrestled with that. I wrestle with that right now in terms of having so many things, good things, great things. I love all the projects that I come up with. So, this is in terms of my plan A side of things, my career that I invent. But when I'm not in alignment with those things, when I don't have the structure, I'm not physically in alignment or emotionally in alignment or spiritually in alignment with my dreams and my directions and my goals and my purpose, when I'm not in alignment with that, then I'm just busy. And then I'll be like this. I'll spend hours doing this rotation of things that I'm not focused and I'm not in alignment with whatever my task is today. Because I can have a lot of rooms in the house, but if I don't plan on which one I'm going to work on and what my goals are, then I am just busy. I'm not effective. In order for my habits to match my dreams, it has to have an alignment and it has to have some consistency and it has to be based in truth. What is the reality? I'm not talking about being realistic. I'm talking about understanding the reality of something. I always look at in terms of what's the difference between being realistic about something and having the reality of something. Being realistic can be socially ordered, it can be morally driven, and also in terms of taking a safe route. Reality is in terms of like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a jockey. And jockeys are of a certain size and a certain weight. And then as I grew, and I grew very quickly, and before I knew it, I was wearing a size 12 shoe and I was 12 years old. And then I was too tall and too big to be a jockey. The reality of that really spoke to me, which meant that jockey really wasn't within the realm of what was real for me. But it doesn't preclude me from being a trainer or an owner. And so, therefore, the reality just shifts based upon the circumstances, right? So, in terms of looking at your circumstances and you're looking at what's real for you, and what's real is created in your vision for yourself, what is your purpose, and you know why you're here, then you understand what's real for you on a day to day basis. And you sit down and you plan that in regards to these phases of what you need to complete. You cannot build 1,000 homes in a day. Home builders will buy 5,000 acres and they're going to build 2,000 homes. They can't build 2,000 homes at once. You build 25 and create a model, and then you do the foundation for the next 25, and then you do the layout for the next 25, and the rest of the land you're clearing in phases, be able to do this. And so you understand that you need to have some organization and clarity about how you proceed for you to be effective and move things forward so that you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Alignment is really connecting with a plan going forward where you check off boxes on a day to day basis and you are moving towards that thing out there, backward thinking with forward motion. What is that thing? And once I understand what it's going to take to get where I am so that I can work knit one, purl two, knit one, purl two, and I keep this consistently going forward. Artists often sabotage themselves through emotional inconsistencies so that your plan to go forward is sometimes confused by the chaos that you have emotionally in your life, like your relationships. Are they supportive of your journey? Is your environment, your culture set up to support this process? I've been teaching for 40 years, and I always use the George Clooney concept because George Clooney was one of the students in the class. And why is George Clooney who he is today? through the acting roles that he's created, the directing that he's done, and all the things that he's created versus his best friend sitting next to him. I don't remember his name, but George Clooney is an icon now because there was consistency to his process. There was an alignment, obviously, in his road. And there was an emotional intelligence that it took for him to be able to survive that journey and to be able to have the people around him that supports that journey. And he gives 16 of his friends, if the story is correct, $1 million apiece. Well, those people obviously were loyal and were a part of his journey. He obviously had structural functionalism about the way that he went about his life. So, the beauty of having this construct of structural functionalism means that things are aligned and then momentum becomes natural. When things are aligned, there is a rhythm in terms of the way that it works and operates, and the energy and the frequency and that when you put out things, it comes back to you because you're intentional about what you're putting in the universe. And the universe listens. The universe is prepared to be your partner in this process, and your universe will provide opportunities because you will be able to see them. The universe provides opportunities for everyone, but everyone is not able to recognize it because they're distracted, they're dysfunctional, they're all over the place, and they're not consistent in terms of the process. Even in terms of, as actors, creating characters, there has to be an alignment and a consistency and an organization about the way that you go about creating the roles that you play so that they're effective. So, one of the ways to audit yourself in terms of your alignment, I'll call it the alignment audit. Were your actions effective in the last week to move you a step, an inch closer to your goals? If you find that your goals and your actions don't align, then make an adjustment. Make the adjustments. You know, at the beginning of each week, what are your goals? And are these goals in alignment with your bigger picture? And then are the actions you take in alignment with those goals? If you were going to work out 5 days or 6 days a week at 6 a.m., were you able to accomplish all of those that time? And did you use that time effectively? Or did you just spend time in the gym? Or did you spend effective time in the gym? In terms of listing off the things that you wanted to accomplish, if you're working on a book, or if you're writing a script, or if you're trying to finish a project, how many steps did you take in terms of that? Or does your actions not support your goals? Ask yourself this question along the way. Are your actions goal achieving or tension relieving? Am I making choices that just are comfort choices? Or is it uncomfortable because of the fact that something I have to change, some action that I have to take that is going to cost me something? Am I making the necessary actions? Ultimately, your goals and your habits have to shake hands. They have to be in alignment with each other. They have to be connected. They have to be symbiotic in nature, your goals and your actions. So take a look at that. So the call to action this week is comment on your misalignments and then correct them. That's it, and that's all.